Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The DRF Bets race of the day for Thursday, February the 7th is race number 6 at Santa Anita. It's an optional claiming race at a 2-turn mile, and you can get down on this race with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com, deposit 50 bones, bet with $200. Here is the field for race number 6. We got fillies and mares going a mile. You can access free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with the number 1, Star of Quality, who scored over course and distance last time out, Matt. And the third place finisher came back to run second with an 86 buyer in the Sunshine Millions filly and mare turf race, and then came back to win on dirt. So that race has been flattered somewhat, and Star of Quality draws a nice inside post.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Pereira rides this filly. You know, it's not as though she's a need the lead type by any stretch. But having said that, drawn down on the inside, that short run into the first turn, I don't know that you want to just willingly give that away at Santa Anita. I think you want to keep that position, maintain it, use her a little bit, and then down the backside, if somebody really wants to go, let that be the case. But I think just early on, I think you're better off establishing that early position and making somebody else blink.
The number 2, Secret Spice, is doubtlessly the key to this race, because last time out, she improved her buyer speed figure 27 points off her previous top, and she did it impressively, winning by 11 1/4 lengths. She beat a couple of minor next out winners in that field. They were going to run her in the La Brea. They had a couple of little hiccups. It didn't work out. So now she's coming into this race off a bit of a layoff going a 2-turn mile. If she comes back to the 106, nobody's coming near her. If she runs back to her prior races, she's a contender.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you. I don't know where the race came from, because there's no obvious equipment change. Maybe there was something else that happened there with the Baltus barn. But at the end of the day, you just look at it and go, where did that come from? Because it's so far out of left field. She had never broken an 80 before that. And then she pops to a 106. And the thing about it is, it's come back legitimate. The other fillies that have run in that race, like you say, you've had 2 next out winners. They've come back and earned those mid to high 80 buyers. I think the number is pretty darn legitimate. Now, the question is, can she replicate that? Because I said to you before we came on, to me, this is an important race, not just for her, not just for this race in general, but if she comes back and runs something close to that, in Southern California, there are no superstars as far as older fillies and mares. Then you'd have to be looking at some kind of a graded stakes with her after this if she were to replicate it. I'm not totally convinced. I needed to see her do it again.
She always had potential, though. As a 2-year-old, she was stakes placed behind Dream Tree, Midnight Bizou. She has taken on some really strong horses like Moonshine Memories. If she is anything close to that last race, as we mentioned, she's going to be tough. This 4-month layoff, though, worries me. 5-2, though, she's not the favorite in this race, despite the big last fig, at least on the morning line. Fool's Paradise is the number 3. I thought that was a nice comeback race off a little bit of a layoff. She was 10-1 that day. She came with a little bit of a run to finish 4th. I think she can build off that effort second start of the form cycle, but it's interesting to me that her best buyer is on turf.
I was going to say, she just right now is a little bit on the slow side. I do think you get a forward move second off the bench, but she has fired fresh in the past, and it just makes me wonder a little bit overall right now. Second start as a 4-year-old, anything can happen, but I do wonder if she's a notch or 2 below. And it's worth noting, there's a number of girls coming out of that same race that are going to square off here again, and she was no match for them. Maybe the seasoning and fitness will get her a little bit more improved.
The filly that finished best of the horses in that race was the number 4, Mo C. Cal, finishing ahead of 3 of these common foes. Got a very nice 112 time form U.S. speed figure that day. She did snap her 3-race win streak, but it was a good solid runner-up effort. I'm interested in your take on that race. She broke well. Mike Smith, I think, wisely took her back off the pace. I thought she was sitting in a great spot. Tracking 3 wide as the 3-5 favorite. She took over on the far turn. It looked like there was no way she could lose at the quarter pole. And then somehow she let that horse on the inside come back and get her. Did you think that was a bad loss, or do you think that she continues on with good solid performance after good solid performance, and we can expect another one on Thursday?
You know, I think it can be a little bit of both. It certainly wasn't a good loss. And I mean, I understand anyone that says any loss is not a good loss, but at the same time, you shouldn't lose the way that she did. But at the same time, it was her first start since the middle of November. So I'm going to look at it and say, you know what, maybe she just got a little bit tired there that day. It was her first time going up against N2X company, so she certainly was taking on better horses. First time really going up against solid company in a little while. I kind of look at it and say, you know what, inoffensive. I wasn't totally turned off by it. And if she runs any one of these 3 most recent runs, I think she's right there.
Another horse that is going second off the layoff is the 5, just a smidge. Time Form US expects the Bob Baffert trainee to be up there in the lead with the number 4, Mo C. Cal. Now, just a smidge's most recent win came at Los Alamitos 2 starts back. Last time out was her first start off a little bit of a layoff. I thought she did a lot of work in that race. I think she built a lot of fitness out of that race, and I would expect a much improved performance at a better price. She's getting 7 pounds from horses like Mo C. Cal with this very capable apprentice on, and she actually finished ahead of the 2 Secret Spice in that Anokia Stakes back in 2017.
You know, the dangerous thing for me was just a smidge. I just don't know how much better she's getting. I mean, we're talking about a 9-time starter whose career best fig of 80 came in her career debut, and usually that's not a positive sign. I will say, if she is able to control the pace, her 2 wins basically come in gate-to-wire fashion. I think that's the real chance that she has to win this thing. If they just can clear off to the front and say, come and catch me, then maybe she can get brave.
Key to this race is whether the 6 Bashful can overcome what could be a disadvantageous pace situation. We see her last on the Timeform U.S. pace projector after a half mile, and that's basically where she was after the first quarter mile of her most recent start, going 6.5 furlongs. She had pace that day, but I just want to tell you, she showed gears to me, she showed agility, she won very, very easily, and she is bred to run all day long. She is a half to Left a Message, who was a stakes winner going 1.5 miles on the turf. She's by Kentucky Derby winner Ord. I hate her running style, but I think this filly's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I agree with that, but you kind of brought up the real reason that I'm against her in here, and it's the pedigree. The Orbs have been good on dirt. They've been better on grass. You brought up that there's turf on the dam side. It makes me wonder a little bit if ultimately she won that race most recently because she's just simply very, very talented. Is it going to be sort of the same situation going up against legitimately good dirt horses, or ultimately, keep in mind, they debuted her on the grass going 5/8 down at Del Mar. I wonder if we're going to see her best when they do go back over to the turf with her.
Jazala, the number 7, made her dirt debut in start number 15 most recently. She finished 3rd behind Mo C. Cal. I think when you watch that race, Mo C. Cal probably did a little bit more of the heavy lifting on the lead. Jazala came along late, might have been helped by the pace. Timeform US doesn't believe the pace will be red in this spot. Maybe another minor award at best for Jazala.
She's got a lot of little slices there, 7 times second or third from 15 lifetime starts and only 2 times a winner, both of them on grass. She's the kind of horse to me you would be using underneath.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Thursday's DRF Bets Race of the Day. You like Mo C. Cal, you got to respect her consistency. Would you try to go right to the front if you're Drayden Van Dyke and say, listen, just a smidge, I don't want to battle with you. I want you to take back and sit second off me. Why wouldn't the young apprentice do that? And maybe Mo C. Cal can wire him like they did 3 back.
I put it this way, I would use enough to save some ground going into the first turn, and then if Just a Smidge is really hell-bent on the lead, so be it. I'm going to sit just off of you and get first run and try to get the jump on Bashful and any of these other horses, particularly Secret Spice. I just don't know that you want to get into a prolonged duel. If it's given to you, take it, because you know you can make them pay. But at the same time, just use a little bit early, establish that early position on the inside. If somebody wants to go, let them go, park just off of them, get first run, and go on with it. I maintain either one of those last 3 races, with the exception of the 106 that Secret Spice has. Any one of Mo C. Cal's last 3, I think, puts her in the winner's circle.
It's the acid test for the 6 Bashful, first time 2 turns, stepping way up in class, and might have to come from last in this race, a race which should have a fair pace, maybe not a fast pace, but just so impressive winning last time out that I have a feeling she might be a stakes horse in waiting. I'm going to go 6-2-4-1. Give me numbers.
4-2-6-7.
Real fun race. The Thursday DRF Bets Race of the Day, the 6th at Santa Anita. Bet it with a DRF Bets account. When you deposit $50, you bet with $200 with DRF Bets. Ready, set, bet. Approximate post time for the 6th at the Great Race Place on Thursday, 3 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.